The partridge is a relatively small bird that usually lives on the ground. Researchers group these birds in the Phasianidae family along with pheasants, grouse, and quails. They are usually between the larger pheasant and the smaller quail in size. Though there are many different types of these birds, researchers refer to the taxonomic genus Perdix as true partridges, so we will focus primarily on them in this article. Read on to learn about the partridge. Description of the partridge. There are 3 different species of true partridges: the gray, Dorian, and Tibetan partridge. All 3 species are relatively similar in shape, size, and color. Their plumage, or feathers, is light-colored and normally gray, tan, white, and black. They are shaped like chickens, with rather plump bodies and small heads. These birds usually measure about a foot long and weigh around a pound or less. Interesting facts about the partridge. Partridges are curious little birds in the pheasant family. Learn more about their various traits and behaviors below. First point. Chicken-like. When you look at these birds, you notice that they look a bit like a mixture between a chicken and a quail. They are portly little birds with small heads and short beaks. Apparently, they also taste like chicken too, as they are a favorite prey item for many different species of animals. Second point. Partridge predators. Many different animals consider these birds an important part of a balanced meal. Some of their top predators include great horned owls, falcons, feral dogs and cats, red foxes, gray foxes, skunks, raccoons, and more. These birds are usually a staple in the diets of the predators within their range. Third point. Short-lived. This is likely why they are generally short-lived birds. Most individuals do not live longer than 2 years, and the oldest wild gray partridge on record was just 4 years old. Fourth point. Overcompensating. To make up for their high mortality rates, these birds reproduce at high volumes. In fact, female grays have some of the largest clutch sizes of any wild bird. A single bird can lay up to 22 eggs in one nest. Habitat of the partridge. Different species of these birds inhabit different types of ecosystems. However, all 3 species prefer open grassland or meadow-style habitats. The gray lives in grasslands and the edges of woodlands. Dorians also live in open areas or open woodlands and prefer habitats with sparse shrubbery. Finally, the Tibetan prefers mountainous meadows with a variety of low bushes and shrubs. Distribution of the partridge. The 3 species have different distributions, but some do overlap. They live throughout Eurasia, though humans have introduced the gray to North America as well. Outside of their introduced range in Central and Midwest North America, grays live throughout Europe and into Western Asia. Dorians live throughout Asia, and Tibetans inhabit the majority of the Tibetan Plateau. Diet of the partridge. These birds are omnivores, though the majority of their diet is herbivorous. They spend most of the year searching for seeds, nuts, and berries. During the breeding season, and while they are young, they feed more heavily on insects and invertebrates. The high protein content in the insects helps with egg production and the growth of young birds before they reach adulthood. As adults, some of their favorite foods are wheat, corn, ragweed, barley, thistle, foxtail, and more. Partridge and human interaction. Human impact on partridges varies drastically based on the region. All 3 species have high overall population numbers, though in some regions the birds are rarer than others. In certain areas, habitat destruction and hunting cause population decline, particularly on their breeding grounds. However, all 3 species have wide distributions, and their overall populations are stable. The IUCN lists the gray, Dorian, and the Tibetan as least concern. Domestication. Humans have not domesticated any of these species of partridge. However, humans do breed them on farms and release them for hunting, but they are not fully domesticated birds. Partridge care. On farms and in zoos, partridges usually have similar care needs across the different species. Their care is similar to that of quail and pheasant. Their enclosures most have secure fencing and plenty of space to forage on the ground. They do particularly well in large, aviary-style enclosures, where they can search through the bushes and shrubs for food. If a predator can get to a partridge, they will try to eat it, so ensure your housing is extremely secure and predator-proof. Behavior of the partridge. Like other members of their family, partridges generally forage on the ground. Though they search for food on the ground, they can fly to escape predators if threatened. As a whole, they are quite easily frightened, and the entire flock quickly takes to the sky when alarmed. These are social birds and live in groups known as coveys. Most coveys contain a pair of birds and their chicks. When the young reach maturity, they form coveys of their own. Reproduction of the partridge. Pairs of partridges are usually monogamous and breed with the same partner year after year. They build their nests on the ground, usually with a small amount of grasses. Females lay large clutches of eggs, anywhere between 10 and 22 per nest. It takes about 3 or 4 weeks for the eggs to hatch. The young can follow their parents soon after they hatch. They're each independent after a few weeks, but stay with the covey for up to a year. Barbary partridge interesting facts. First one. What type of animal is a Barbary partridge? A Barbary partridge is a type of bird species that belongs to the Phasianidae family. Second one. What class of animal does a Barbary partridge belong to? As a bird species, the Barbary partridge belongs to the aves class of animal. Third one. How many Barbary partridges are there in the world? The total number of these birds present in the world is unknown as they are present across the world, and they have a good population, except some of the species like the Sichuan partridge, which is endangered. Next one. Where does a Barbary partridge live? The Barbary partridge is native to North Africa, Gibraltar, and the Canary Islands. They can also be found in the European region, North America, and Spain. Different types of ecosystems are preferred by different species of this bird. Open grasslands, islands, and meadow-style habitats are common among them, but some prefer mountainous regions among woodlands and shrubs for habitat. Their distribution can be observed across the world, including Asia, Europe, Middle East, North Africa, and the species differ in each region. Next one. What is a Barbary partridge's habitat? A Barbary partridge lives in the grasslands, savanna, woodlands, and among rocky regions. They mostly prefer to live in places with abundant forests due to their food being dependent on seeds and plants too, other than insects. They are generally ground dwellers and thereby, they nest close to ground, and not on tall trees. These birds are resident breeders in open, hilly, and dry country areas. Next one. Who do Barbary partridges live with? The Barbary partridge are social birds who live in groups known as coveys, and most coveys include a family, like a pair and its chicks. Next one. How long does a Barbary partridge live? The Barbary partridge generally has a lifespan of up to 5 years, while the average lifespan of the red-legged partridge is of 3 years. Next one. How do they reproduce? Partridges are monogamous animals that live and mate with only one pair. They form pairs in the early years, and will stay together till autumn for breeding. They breed with the same mate or partner every year. During the breeding season, they perform courtship rituals to attract each other, and this courtship performer differs in each region. Male chukars, native to the Middle East, European region, and North America show courtship to attract female attention, while the gray partridge female, which is native to North America and Europe, bows to the male, and performs courtship to invite the male. After breeding occurs, females lay eggs in their nests, built with grasses and sticks. They can lay large clutches of eggs in different nests and scrape ground, of between 10 to 22 eggs in each nest. The eggs usually hatch within 3 to 4 weeks, and are fed by both parents until they mature. The chicks generally live as coveys for about a year. Next one. What is their conservation status? The conservation status of these bird species is least concern, since they have a stable population, and are widespread across the world. Climate change and predators like snakes and mice, that hunt on their eggs, are a threat to their existence and loss of habitat. However, they have a good presence, especially on the islands. So, today we are talking about full details about partridge. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.